I hate Mother Nature, man. I hate it. Between shortening the race last week, being in the way at Nashville for most of the planning, and now ending the race early tonight, it just sucks. There's no other way around it. Congratulations. We'll talk about the winner in a moment. Congratulations to William Byron on his fourth win of the season. That sometimes you win with a bunch of good cars. Sometimes you win with good calls. Sometimes you win with luck. Sometimes you win with all three. A rain win is still a win. I don't want to see any of these Mickey wins in there. He got it fair and square. They knew they were racing the rain just like everyone else did. But doesn't mean that we have to like that the race ended like this. So I might as well, while I'm thinking about it, edit the name of this from question marks of racing to the rain to exclamation marks of racing to the rain. By the way, lick that like button, and let's see if we can get to 100 by the time we're done going through the information about this race. I know it sucks that it ended like this, but we're going to go through it no matter how it ends. So let's do it right now. This is the 2023 Quaker State 400, available at Walmart. Not corporatized and dumb whatsoever. This race, based on what NASCAR.com has, was 185 laps, going 2 hours, 24 minutes, and 18 seconds. There were 12 leaders that changed the lead 18 times, with 7 caution flags on the night. William Byron, like we said, gets the win in this race. After that, we have Daniel Suarez coming up in the second spot, AJ Allmendinger third, Michael McDowell supremacy in the fourth spot, Kyle Busch fifth, then Brad Keselowski with a hard charge back up towards the front, but just too little too late. They were really banking on it raining around when the stage ended. Ultimately didn't turn out that way per se. Then you have J.J. Yaley with an impressive 7th place run on the night. So good run by Yaley. Then you got Justin Haley in 8th. After Haley, you got Blaney. I'm just reading NASCAR.com. It's off from what NBC had. But it says Haley in 8th, Blaney in 9th, then Stenhouse in 10th, Jones in 11th. Then you got Austin Cindric in 12th. Are we sure about this? Because this doesn't seem like the order they had before they all went down pit road. Hold on. Because it had Elliott 13th. And it does not have Elliott 13th on here. So hold on a second. Maybe NASCAR.com is off. But McDowell is +3 right now. Let me get the official results before we go green with this post-race stream. Looking at the points right now, at least we can say Harvick is 12th +126, then Buescher 13th +105, Keselowski +100, Suarez +3 with McDowell, then Bubba -3, AJ -13, Ty Gibbs -26, and Cindric -40. NASCAR.com, I believe, is off when it comes to the finishing order, because I saw Elliott 13th, and on their website they have, well, now they've changed it back. So I don't know what the hell they're doing. Because I saw Blaney ahead of Haley, and now they've changed that back. So I'm going to wait to get the final results, but we'll go through the race and then put the results up as I drop my pen. And we'll put the poll up right now too. Hold on, guys. It's a rain race. Give me a damn minute. I got it. So I just want to make sure we had the stream ready to go. But we'll go through the finishing orders. Poll will be up in a moment. With rain races, it takes a little longer just because I got more shit to do. I'll tell you what, do you want the full, we're going to give you the full corporate name of it, because why the hell not? I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be skewed because of the rain finish. But I thought personally that it was a pretty good race. Best one since they redid Atlanta. So there is that. So what do you think of the 2023 Quaker State 400 available at Walmart? Why would I put it like that? Because it's stupid and I want to put something stupid on it. But I have a feeling that the finish is definitely something that's gonna skew what people think about it. So great, good, average, below average, and bad. All right, poll is up. There you go. I can understand also why people are pretty pissed at the way this finished out. So we're gonna let's see. We're gonna go through what NASCAR.com has re-updated it with. If they can get, see, this is the thing. I don't know what the finishing order is because NASCAR.com has switched it now 5 or 6 different times. I would read it off, but I don't. So we're gonna go through the race itself and then have the finishing order of it go off. But Eric Almirola was on the pole. Fords were fast early on. I got to say it was awesome seeing Kevin Harvick's 2001 car up towards the front in the pre-race with Richard Childress driving it. Good stuff there. Plus having Harvick up beside him was awesome. From there, they choo-chooed a little bit early. Eric Almirola had the dominant car early on. We had our weekly Harrison Burton spin on lap 16 off 2. Though Burton, I believe, came back from being like 4 or 5 laps down up to a lap down when we finished this thing off. They get the restart back to it. And then on lap 40, you have Eric Almirola and Joey Logano racing back and forth. You have that, the contest up there for the win. The poll is up. I don't know why people are questioning. The poll is up right now. So if you want to go vote on it, go vote on it. Because I'm seeing more people ask where it's at. It's up. I like that Harris spin Burton. The poll is up. I don't know what you guys like are asking a poll for. It's up. Refresh if you can't find it. Yes, it is. It's on the community tab. Refresh. Like, I literally just put it up. Yeah, I put it up. It's been up for a minute. So I'll share the link if you guys need me to, but I don't really know what else to do here. If you can't find it, just, I guess, wait for it to refresh. So here you go. There you go. It should be there. I'll get the poll up on the stream in a bit. I didn't say there was a poll on the stream. I said there was a poll on the community tab. Wait, have they already went to SVU? Are you kidding me? We have like 30 minutes left in the window and they've went to Law and Order already? Come on. That's BS. I think at the very least, if the race has ended early, you should be able to have a bit of post-race more than that. But anyway, going through the first stage, you have that. One thing that happened that was amazing was the 45. The 45, like, damn near wrecks it and has one of the best saves I think I've seen on a super speedway in a long time. I don't know how the hell he didn't wreck that. I don't know. I just don't know how he didn't wreck that, how he saved that. But it was amazing. The first stage ends with Blaney, then Larson, MTJ, Logano, William Byron in 5th, then Bell, Cindric, McDowell, Reddick, and Eric Almirola. And then you get to stage 2, where it's Truex and McDowell making contact on pit road to start with, though both at different points would, I think, be able to get at least a bit of a recovery. McDowell very much so. But on lap 67, starting stage 2, you got Blaney and Larson up front. It doesn't last long. Poor Larson ends up getting taken out in a wreck in a bit. But on lap 80, people might forget this. William Byron would spin out and bring out caution number 3. Not really too much in the name of damage on the night. He would, again, very much recover, as we can see with the win. But they get to the restart coming up on that, and it's the 19 and the 23. They stayed out, had the lead about a third of the way through that second stage, give or take. But at that point, the luck, like I said, runs out for Kyle Larson. Him and Briscoe and Hill all go around. Larson gets damage from the flat tire popping, as I don't think that he knew that they are. Maybe he did know it was flat, but it's just not enough time to slow it down. I don't know what it was. It was kind of odd, to be completely honest. But I'll tell you this, man. Dale Jr. calling out Rex the way he does is going to kill me one day, because I went and I looked to grab something, and I look, and then I just hear, "Oh, we got a car spinning!" And I'm like, I'm up. That might become my new alarm clock. But you get the restart, and at that point, it's Buescher and Haley up towards the front. And the racing gets more and more wild as the second stage goes. Right before we hit the halfway point, you have a big wreck with the 7, the 54, the 1. I think the 45, 43, and 19 got involved. That's really where Truex's night completely ended. The leaders stay out, and you have a restart 2 laps before halfway with the 17 and the 22 up there. And you have this great battle between the RFK Fords and the Penske Fords, where you have Cindric getting a push past the 17 with Blaney pushing him. Then you get it where it's Brad Keselowski versus Austin Cindric on the 2. The 6 ends up prevailing in that. And you have Truex flying from the middle back of the pack. He still is in this race, flying up on the high side. I believe the highest he got up to was 2nd before the pack started more racing. But on lap 155, after quietly getting up to the top 5, Denny Hamlin gets wrecked after Bowman spins, I believe, on top. I don't know if it was incidental contact or a spin. I'd have to go back and see. But pretty much ending the nights competitively for both of them. And that was after Kyle Busch and Noah Gragson got together, and NASCAR just said, no caution. We're going to keep racing. Screw it. No caution. Brad Keselowski ends up winning the stage under caution with Blaney, Buescher, Cindric, Allmendinger the top 5. Then Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, McDowell, Haley, and Priest. That's the top 10 for stage 2. And you get to the final stage. At this point, it's Allmendinger, McDowell, Jones, and Byron. Those are the front 4 or so that stay out. You get the restart. AJ gets the lead. Only 3 laps later, though, you got Byron passed. That would, I believe, be the pass for the win. With 88 to go, you have Harvick spinning with no yellow being thrown. Before finally, they do have a yellow for the 41 and the 23 going around. And that would be it. They'd putter around under yellow for, I believe, 7 or so laps. Before throwing the red flag and ultimately calling the race. So I'm going to look at NASCAR.com again, see if they've re-updated all of this. Because I had put down the results, and again, they just keep changing it. So I believe, if I'm reading this right, I got the top 7 correctly put in. And that would be Byron, Suarez, Allmendinger, McDowell, and Busch the top 5. Then Keselowski and Yaley. After that, it's Haley, Blaney. Lots of EYs at the end of these names. All right, so that's 9th. Then I believe Ricky Stenhouse Jr. unofficially comes home 10th. From there, you've got Jones, Cindric in 12th. He's been moved up to 12th in the final finishing order of this. Then Elliott in 13th. I believe Hamlin will come home 14th on the night. And then Buescher in 15th. So, okay, so there was a little shuffling in the finishing order. Again, all of this unofficial as they're running now. But Buescher ends up 15th. Todd Gilliland ends up 16th on the night. All these still on the lead lap, because there were a lot of cars on the lead lap. I got to say, relatively clean racing for a super speedway tonight. I like that. So Logano, Almirola, Ty Dillon 19th. Then BJ McLeod gets a top 20 on the night. This according to NASCAR.com. After that, you have Austin Dillon in the 21st spot. And all these results will be put on the top line in a moment. But then you got Briscoe in 22nd, Bell in 23rd, Priest 24th, Bubba Wallace in the 25th spot, then Bowman, Reddick. That would be your lead lap guys. Then 2 cars a lap down. That would be Harrison Burton in 28th and Martin Truex Jr. in 29th. Then Kevin Harvick 4 laps down in 30th. Corey LaJoie 6 laps down in 31st. 7 laps down in 32nd would be Cole Custer. 33rd would be Noah Gragson, I believe, out of this race. Then Ty Gibbs was out. Then Chastain, 35th, was out. 36th was Larson, and then Hill. All right, so reading it through one more time before we put it up there. William Byron wins. Daniel Suarez second. Third is Allmendinger. Fourth is McDowell. Fifth, Kyle Busch. Sixth, Brad Keselowski. J.J. Yeley in seventh. Eighth goes to Justin Haley. Then ninth goes Ryan Blaney. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 10th. 11th, Eric Jones. 12th, Austin Cindric. Then Chase Elliott 13th. 14th, Denny Hamlin. 15th, Chris Buescher. 16th, Todd Gilliland. 17th, Joey Logano. 18th, Eric Almirola. 19th, Ty Dillon. 20th goes to BJ McLeod. 21st, Austin Dillon, I should say. 22nd, Chase Briscoe. Bell in 23rd. 24th, Priest. Then Bubba Wallace 25th. 26th, Alex Bowman. Tyler Reddick, last car on the lead lap in 27th. A lap down then goes 28th, Burton. 29th, Truex. Then Harvick 30th, 4 laps down. LaJoie 31st, 6 laps down. Cole Custer 32nd, 7 laps down. Then Gragson 33rd out of the race. 34th, Gibbs out of the race. 35th, Chastain out of the race as well. Same for 36th place, Kyle Larson, and Austin Hill finishing out on the caboose dead last. It's up there. I will even put in big letters unofficial results, just in case they change it again on us. That's at least what they put on NASCAR.com. Overall, though, I think the best of the new Atlanta races, what I like about Atlanta is that it doesn't feel like a modern super speedway race. Handling matters because this track is worn down so quickly, and I like that. I love when handling matters at super speedways. You saw it, and they compared it today to the mid-90s to about the end of the 2010s right before, or start of the 2010s right before the repave of what Daytona used to be like. I personally think that is a great comparison, and I love that kind of racing because it does showcase a good amount of driver talent, and you saw it tonight. And I guess it's funny because my favorite super speedway race so far this season has been the one that is least like modern super speedway racing. You saw with them having to take care of the cars and take care of each other more, there weren't as many giant wrecks. There were single car spins or spins that would collect others. But it was not a giant, stupid wreck fest. And I like that, personally. So I'll start a poll now. I still personally, I know I see in the chat that a lot of you like New Atlanta. Which do you like now after 4 races on the new ATL? Do you like New Atlanta, Old Atlanta, or Pudding? I don't know. I wanted a meme option. I still personally like Old Atlanta better, but I do think that the possibilities with this New Atlanta could be very interesting moving forward. That's at least what I think personally of it. So here you go. Putting the poll up. And while we do that, let's read through some of these super chats and donations. I appreciate all you guys are putting out. And wow. Early on, New Atlanta taking the lead, but I'm surprised how even it is. Pudding up there. It's amazing. I probably should take out the meme answer and see what you guys like. But I can understand why people like this New Atlanta. I really can. Even if it's not my cup of tea, I understand at least why y'all like it. Now, looking at the donation super chats, thank you, Eric W., for gifting 10 memberships. I appreciate that, and welcome everybody who's a new member. Ross Crash Stain, thank you for 2. Another week of pain and suffering as a Bowman fan. Yeah, Bowman did not need that. If I can pull it up, I can maybe see what the full cut line is looking like right now. But let me see. Jayski would probably have it if anyone would. They're usually really on top of things, and I can kind of read out what it's looking like if they have it. They do not. But I have to imagine that other than the ones we listed earlier, that it would be. I would have to imagine it would be a bit more spread out now. I'm curious how far back Chase Elliott is, though, because that's going to be the interesting driver to watch moving forward with 7 races left. I think Elliott, with his teammate winning, dodged a huge bullet tonight, personally, because if Suarez, Allmendinger, McDowell, if any of those 3 win, then man, it is. If any of them win, it's going to be even more difficult for anybody on the cut line. I'm not sure if JJ Yaley would have been eligible, but I'm telling you, man, JJ Yaley, for being in a Rick Ware car, has been mighty impressive for the time he's gotten. I believe he's not full-time, or if he is full-time in any series, it would be Xfinity. But I cannot tell you, even as super speedway wise, usually the Rick Ware cars fall out of that main pack. They've been solid. Haley's been solid. Colleague overall. So at least from what you're saying in the chat, Jace says Elliott is 60 points back. That'd be over a full race back now. So he would actually, lose a lot of points on the cut line. And finishing the poll right now after 303 votes, 51% of you for New Atlanta, Old Atlanta 26%, and Pudding 22%. So Billy88 Joe in the chat is saying the cut line would be Suarez +3, McDowell +1. That might be after they change some stuff up. I want to see if NASCAR.com has the full points. Because if so, we can start going over this. I want to go over the cut line more on these streams. But I don't believe that anyone really updates them until about an hour or 2 after, so we can't really go too much into it. But let's look at some of these super chats and stuff like that. But I see Seahawks 24 Rule says unpopular opinion, but Chicago and Atlanta were better because of weather. I agree. I don't think this Atlanta race would have been nearly as good as it was if we didn't have rain being imminent. So, wait, ESPN does have the points live? Hold on. I know ESPN is very janky, at least on desktop, but I'll check. We do. All right. Way to go, ESPN. And really quick, let me who put that in there? With Fear Gaming. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. Good call on that one. So, yeah, you got the top 11 here. From there, yes, 126 for Harvick. He's in 12th. Then you got Buescher, who, again, I got to do my math here, but I believe is 105. Then now is it 100 points up, and 14th for Brad Keselowski. It is +3 apiece for Suarez and McDowell, tied for 15th. Bubba Wallace -3, -13 AJ Allmendinger. From there, you got -26 Ty Gibbs. Major fall off night for Gibbs. Cindric. My calculator. I'm usually good at math. I believe Cindric is -40. Yes, -40. From there, Justin Haley -44. So is Alex Bowman -44. -60 for Elliott. And from there, it's pretty difficult for anyone, I think, to make up ground. Elliott, at this point, being 60 back, would have to make up 8.6 or basically 9 points a race to make the playoffs as they are at the moment, and that is without Bubba Wallace winning at Michigan or Daytona, without AJ Allmendinger winning a road course, without Ty Gibbs maybe coming up there and winning one, with how quick as a rookie he's been, without Haley coming on a little bit better. I have been very much on the Chase Elliott can make it off of points. But as we run right now, and again, I know that a lot of other drivers can talk about, but I think at this point you're starting to get to must-win territory. When you lose points like Elliott did tonight on the cut line, even if it's losing 1 or 2 points, he cannot afford to lose those points. And again, if he misses by anything less than like 20 to 30 points, it's going to make that deal between him and Denny Hamlin at Charlotte even more stupid looking. In hindsight, just because that not only threw away the race he was suspended for, but it would throw away also that Coke 600 that he could have had a better finish in. And while I personally, again, I think just the best 16 drivers should make it if you're going to have it be 16. It is the rules we run under. I understand why people wouldn't say he deserves to be in. Personally, off of performance and being there the whole season, I'm very much on the train of people should not have these waivers given to them, even if they're well below the cut line and get a win. I like performance on all factors being more pushed on it. But it's the rules we run under, and I still think that at least one guy under the cut line is going to get a win. I don't think it'll change it too much, but it's just that added pressure. And we see it with the gap right now. If any of these guys below the cut line win, Bubba Wallace win, AJ Allmendinger, Ty Gibbs, maybe Cindric gets up there. If you get more than one of them, more than one guy who could get a first win this season, then you're looking at Suarez would be under the line, and he'd be almost 100 points back at Keselowski. Now, it would heat up a little more if someone else got that win, but again, we have 7 races, I believe, left. I think while it's not unrealistic to have 3 new winners, I think it is very much something that is not precedent. So I get, I would say I'd give a 90+% chance of Harvick, Buescher, Keselowski making it in, probably 95% or more. Unless something absolutely crazy happened, unless we got a new winner at a road course or 2 road courses or a rain win maybe. Next week I see that there's rain in the forecast for New Hampshire. Because there always is. That could happen maybe. There could be some crazy chicanery or whatever. But if you're under that cut line right now, if I'd say if you're from Cindric on down, it's starting to get to must-win territory or is must-win. Elliott is over a full race back now with 7 races left. So is LaJoy, Priest, Gilliland, Almirola, Jones, Dillon, Burton. I'd say basically anyone Elliott on down is in must-win. Bowman, Haley, and Cindric are pretty much there unless something magical happens. Gibbs, Allmendinger, Bubba, McDowell, Suarez, those are the guys fighting on points. That's how I see it, at least, moving forward. But I can check right now and see what Mother Nature is serving up for us next week, because every time NASCAR gets momentum, Mother Nature has to give a big middle finger to us. So let's see what we got next week in Loudon. It's not looking too bad on my weather app. I'll check on AccuWeather as well. I like to check on multiple of these apps. So Loudon, New Hampshire next week. And then I promise we will get to more of these super chats and talk about what you guys want to talk about in the chat with it. So let's look at the daily forecast for Loudon. Moving forward, we'll be live after all those races. 55% chance of rain on this end for both days. And that does not go down for the next couple days either. So rain is going to be a factor next week as well. Pocono, rain is always a factor. What's after that? Michigan. Michigan rain's always a factor. Never fails that there's rain around. Oh no, Richmond hit or miss. Michigan definitely gonna be a factor. We're gonna probably at least have one or two more races either affected or threatened by rain moving forward. Oh, baby, thank you for the 5. If Atlanta can keep producing this kind of racing like we've seen tonight, there may be hope for this reconfiguration after all. I agree. If handling matters in super speedway racing, I think super speedway racing is better. This track has aged way quicker than I think a lot of people, myself included, thought it would. I mean, Dale Jr. said it might, honestly, in a couple years, race like old Atlanta did. Like, and when I say old Atlanta, I mean like Atlanta, how it raced from about 2001 to 2008, which I would, again, not mind whatsoever. Need for Speed, 53-53 for the 2. Ty Dillon, top 20. Let's go. Nice. Yeah, Ty Dillon was the highest finishing Dillon brother tonight. So, let's see what else we got in here. People, thank you for the 2. Byron backing his way into another Mickey win. Again, rain wins are the same. To me, rain wins count the same as any other kind of win. They all knew they were racing the rain. The 24 team did it better, got a little luck on their side. It happens. There's plenty of other rain wins that people, could say the same thing about, but it is what it is, man. By the way, be sure to go to dailydownforce.com/the Iceberg for the new merch store, and be sure to watch the NASCAR Weekly podcast this Wednesday on Eric Estep's channel. Going to be a hell of a time. We're going to have a lot to talk about because I have a feeling that Loudon will be fun. Get those tinted windows ready, baby. But ton of appreciation sent to all you guys. Looking at a couple others here. Andrew Meyer, thank you for the 5. NASCAR obviously wanted to avoid a repeat of Daytona last summer, but it felt like they were waiting for it to start raining once the sprinkles. Yeah, and again, I'm torn because based on what people said at the track, they probably could have been racing another 5 to 10 minutes before it actually started raining. At the same time, I wouldn't want to have a repeat of Turn 1 Daytona last year. That was stupid. So again, I'm torn on it. I know immediately people are going to be conspiracy theory and be like, they fixed it for Hendrick. It's like, no, I think it's just, they'd rather be safe than sorry. It sucks that it finished like this, but at the same time, when it starts sprinkling, you don't know if it's going to start downpouring or stop or whatever. So I can't say that I'm, I can't say I'm too upset about it personally. It sucks, but it is what it is. It's racing. Albert Stacy, thank you for the 20 and the first super chat on the channel. I appreciate it. I'm convinced Rick Hendrick sold his soul to the devil. As a Ford fan, I'm done for the season. Someone buy me Phoenix tickets. Well, giving me $20 might not help towards getting those Phoenix tickets. You could save that for yourself, but I appreciate it. I don't think it's Hendrick fixing it or any of that stuff, but it's frustrating. I get it. Because the Fords were the best cars out there. Daniel Shell, thank you for the 2. Go 24. Atlanta has grown 100%. I love it. Well, again, if people are happy with it, it helps the sport. Hey, if the TV ratings are better this week than they were last year for this race, even as a rain out, it's good. Good for the sport. I'm going to call you O. I'm sorry. I'm not good with names. By the way, lick that like button. But for 2 and your first super chat, I appreciate it. And I apologize that I don't want to butcher your name. The threat of rain brought us great racing. Agreed. And I see people talking about it like Team Penske fan in the chat, but SRX coming back this week. They did not do a good job promoting it if a lot of people didn't know it was coming back. We won't be doing post-race on that, but we will be picking on the podcast this week. So be sure to watch on Eric Estep's channel this Wednesday. Going to be a lot of fun. Rocks reviews and reactions for 2. Dang, Truex should have stayed out. Now he finished 29th. But he was a lap down. Jupiter Rain, thank you for the 2. Will they ever run this race without the plates? I think one day. I think one day they will, because they can't just keep nerfing it till there's no horsepower at all in these cars to make pack racing. I think that letting them be unrestricted and having it still kind of a draft, like having a package like 2014, that there's, you can draft, but there's also a good amount of horsepower or high horsepower, maybe high horsepower, high downforce, or instead of low horsepower, high downforce, whatever. Maybe that would be the option to go. But yeah, I think that they will take the plates off at some point. Marky Mark, thank you for the 5. Shout out for the amazing national anthem today. I kind of low-key enjoyed Chicago Street Race more. Tyler McGonigal, I knew you'd be happy about this one. Resident Byron fan. I signed a Byron card, thanks to you. I appreciate that. First diecast I've ever signed. Won't be the last, because those daily Downforce podcast party bus ones will be coming out, I believe, by November. I don't want to promise that, but it should, if I'm not mistaken, be by the end of the year. But Tyler says, yeah, baby, let's go. Woo! Hashtag 24 ever. Yeah, 4th win of the year. At this point, I think Byron is going to lock up that top seed. Still a lot of racing to go, though, but I think a much-needed win for Byron, because Byron and the Hendrick team hasn't been bad per se, but they've definitely not been up to speed the way they were the first 12, 13 races of the season. So I think a much-needed push of wind into the sails for the 24 team tonight. Austin Hardesty for 10. This leaves a sour taste in my mouth. Great race, but why do you ride around for 10 laps under caution and wait? Could have at least run some green laps before the rain. I do think that is, I think that's a valid point. That there was the opportunity to be able to run those laps. Again, I think they're just trying to be rather safe than sorry. Just after what happened at New Hampshire and then what happened at Daytona, I don't think NASCAR wants to have a repeat, especially at a super speedway like that, and something that could, just like last year, cause someone to make or miss the playoffs. Ultimately, with Byron winning, it didn't make a difference too much, just because Byron winning will just put him higher up in the playoff point order. But no, I mean, it should leave a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. Fred Dog 8142, is Bell in serious trouble with possible penalties? I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Twin Spinner for 5. They showed the pit entry light only a lap or two into the caution with sprinkles that were visible. Would have been crazy to go back green. Was safest to wait. Again, yeah, and I think that's, there were sprinkles. I get people can say camera would pull tricks, but I still think it's okay to have a bad taste in your mouth, even if it was the right move, just because it was a pretty great race. I'd say overall, probably I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I know I'm very harsh with my grading, but that's personally what I'd give for it. I understand people gave it a higher one, though. Chris McIntyre, thank you for the 5. What a fiasco. Either the network pulled the plug due to coverage or NASCAR saving the field from wrecking themselves at 3 in the morning. I think it might have been a mix of the network wanting to get to their SVU repeats and also safety too. I see FBI in the chat here saying, why didn't they delay it to Monday? Once you get to halfway, NASCAR is a pretty, I don't know if it's a written policy, but it is definitely a policy that they enforce a lot, of finishing the race the day it's run, or at least in the window it's run. It sucks, but there was a huge storm coming. I mean, they probably, I don't know what the noise and light and all that ordinances are out in Hampton, Georgia. I know that now they're, I believe, right next to an Amazon facility. So I don't know what all that is. Remember, they are going to a Monday, which is different than going to a Sunday. But I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think this rain would have ended till way early in the morning. Then you got the track drying. There's more rain in the area. I think NASCAR just wanted to pull the plug and get out of there so they'd get ready for what is going to be a long trip up to New Hampshire this week. Again, sucks that it had to end that way, but I do think that they made, as sucky as it is, I think they made the right call. I know a lot of people won't be agreeing with that, though. Tyler McGonigal, thank you for another 5. Hey there, Byron fan, with a smile. Love the diecast you signed for me more and more every day. Is he a championship threat? Yeah. No summer slump this year and points leader. Again, I won't say they slumped, but they definitely haven't been running, and this is Hendrick as a whole, I don't think has had the same amount of speed as they did early in the season. But we've seen Hendrick do this before where they don't have the speed in the middle of the year because they're getting stuff ready for playoff time. So he'll be a threat with the wins and the points and all that. He definitely will be. I think it's just a matter of what happens come round of 8 and Phoenix. I would say this: if he doesn't make it past a round of 12, that is a travesty, to say the least. And Daniel brings up in the chat that I believe Hendrick is 3 wins away from win number 300. I remember where I was when they won number 200. I was sitting at home watching with my parents. It was, I believe, Darlington, I want to say, in 2012. Nap Racing Fan 927 for 2 says New Hampshire has a 75% chance of tinted windows. Rock's reviews and reactions for 2. MTJ was charging, but the field kept blocking his runs. Yeah, he was charging up quick. I think if that stays green, he probably gets to the lead. Hunter, thank you for the 5. Seems like tonight Toyota was a no-show. Meanwhile, Ford brought their A game, especially in stage 2. Yeah, Ford was bad fast. Just ultimately didn't go their way. I mean, when you look at the finishing order of this race, you have 3 Chevys. The highest finishing Ford was Michael McDowell in 4th off of fuel strategy. Then a Chevy and Kyle Busch, a Ford and Brad. Where was the first Toyota? The first Toyota, I believe, unless I'm counting wrong, was Denny Hamlin in 14. Damn. Yeah, they really were a no-show tonight. For the most part. I think Denny and Bubba had speed. But I think Denny was the only one with consistent speed that didn't get up there due to strategy. Matthew, thank you for the 10. As a Larson fan, I'm just give Byron the championship trophy. Larson and the 5 team have all the speed just to come away with wrecked cars. I'm praying Kyle can bounce back from this. Yeah, that would be, I believe, the 6th or 7th DNF of the season. I should check really quick on for Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson very much has been the epitome of checkers or wreckers. He reminds me so much this year of 2003 Ryan Newman, who I believe had 8 wins and 8 DNFs, or 9 DNFs, somewhere around there. Looking here, racing at the finish. Yeah, Larson has 6 DNFs on the season and is 8th in the standings. That's amazing. I mean, it just shows when he's not wrecking, he is almost always finishing in the top 10 or top 5, which if you compare that with Ryan Newman in 2003, Newman had 8 wins and was racing at the finish. He had 8 wins and 7 DNFs that year. So that's about the best comparison I can give to Kyle Larson's season so far. Oh, baby, for $4.99. Junior calls Rex like Michael Buffer yelling, "Let's get ready to rumble." Herbert the Pervert for 2 says he's making pudding on the toilet. Chocolate pudding. Thank you, Will England, for being a member for 3 months. Xfinity Series needs to switch to the Super Speedway package for Atlanta. Probably. Dale Dawson, thank you for the 350. I was kind of pulling for Brad K to break his 80 race losing streaks. I picked him. Still finished 6th. Good run for him. Solidly in the playoff fight. Big Hat Byron for 2. 4th win of the year, baby. 5th incoming. He's got the speed. Fred Dog 81 for 5. If you're a Larson fan, you have to be irritated by how inconsistent and reckless he is. At some points, he has to stop making so many dumb decisions. I think maybe it's pressure getting to him. I don't know for sure. I don't know what's going on in his head, but that might be part of it. Nick Hill, thank you for the $2 super chat. First ever race in person, so badass. Well, good that I'm glad you had fun in person, and thanks for the first super chat on the channel as well. I appreciate it. But awesome stuff. I'm glad you had fun, and I'm assuming you'll probably come back next year. And then Justin Turley, thank you for the 5. I felt bad for people who couldn't watch the race on any. Yeah. I kind of the same way. Mondo Hog saying worst jump scare, Bagley or Dale Jr. Let's do that. Put a poll up here. Worst jump scare. I'll put just Bagley and Dale Jr. I'm still putting Dale Jr. I know Bagley is like you get it once. Once a year, twice a year here or there. But yeah. All right, let's see what the poll is getting out to be. And thank you to Garabuki for the $5 super chat. So close to the 3-car Trackhouse sweep. All 3 cars winning back-to-back-to-back weeks. Almost witnessed more history. Unfortunate ending, though. I think a lot of us were maybe hoping for that as well. God, though, man. You got Dale Jr. Oh, we got a spin. No, we got a car on the wall. I do agree. I think Bagley does need to be on TV. I don't know about full time, but definitely needs to be on it more. Anytime they do the radio call, have Bagley on it. By the way, NWP 400, August 22nd on IDK Players channel. The week of Daytona. Going to be a ton of fun, so be sure to watch that. Got a lot of money on the line for that one. Let's see what else you guys got here. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Farmer Cameron Canada says I have a good junior impression. I appreciate that. Years of listening to the radio and watching NASCAR Hot Pass. In your dreams, let's see. In your dreams, you're in a car crash and Dale Jr. says, car to barrier, and you wake up. Timmy, thank you for the $5 super chat as well. Let's see. Who are my championship 4 predictions as we run right now? Well, the 24, I think, will be there. The 8, 19, and from there, it's difficult. I want to say the 1, but I don't trust him. I'm not going to say the 22. I feel like there needs to be a wild card. I'm looking. I have the points on from the previous week on my wall. So I'm looking. I'll go outside the box and say Blaney. So there's that. I appreciate you guys saying I have a good junior impression. Now, it's not spot on, but it's about as good as I can get it. And thank you, Timmy, for another $2 super chat as well. I appreciate it. I want to say Larson, but I feel like Larson, he's 2 checkers or wreckers, and there's more wreckers than checkers this year. Where'd Chase Elliott finish? I thought he would have been more of a factor. Elliott finished P13 and really wasn't a factor at all tonight. Fell back a little bit more, too. Jared, if BJ McLeod was racing in the podcast paint scheme, he would have won tonight. I mean, BJ was all the way up into the top 10, leading that ultra high line. But ultimately, I think he got into the wall, and that cost him to go back. JJ Yaley, at one point, I believe, was up to 3rd, closing in on the rain. JJ, I don't think had a good enough car or the push with him. But man, I would have loved to see a JJ Yaley win. I've witnessed the entire Cup career of JJ Yaley, and it'd be so cool to see him get that win. It'd be such an underdog win 2 weeks in a row, but it doesn't happen that way, unfortunately. I know, yeah, I see Eric W. saying that Elliott was 13th and moving forward. He was moving forward. It's just he never could get up there or get that push. And I don't think he had as good a car as the Fords did. I think the Fords, I mean, we saw it. Like Michael McDowell with a wrecked up car was running for the lead. And I don't think that the Chevys could do that too. Blue Jimmy 48 fan saying JJ Yaley outperforming his equipment is so bizarre to me. I mean, how old is he? Isn't he in his late to mid 30s? Mid to late 30s? He's 46. Good God, man. I didn't know he was that old. I thought he was younger. He looks younger. Now it's about, the end of a driver being at their prime, so I don't know. Maybe sometimes there's just a good fit. Let's see. 12 and 6 had the best cars. I think I'd agree with that. And Pro's ancient. 46 is not that old. Come on, that's only like 20, 21 years older than me. That's not that old. Thank you, FredDog81, for the 5. Here's my Jeff Burton impression. Harrison did a great job spinning but not crashing. I found it funny when people were talking about like rookie seasons and guys not doing well, and Harrison Burton was brought up with that, or like in the conversation, and Burton's like, it usually takes like 70 to 80 races, and I'm like, keeps spinning out. I'm like, is Burton going to say it takes like 100 to 125 races for a driver to finally get into their rhythm? No hate. I like Harrison Burton. He's a nice guy. Just always, man, just like whether it's his fault or not, he is always spinning. It's almost like a caution clock every week. Like if he isn't spinning or in a crash, I question if the race actually like had full closure. I feel bad, man. I do because I think he is a good race car driver. I think he's just a little in over his head right now. Yeah, like Timmy says, I do think he gets a little more seat time. I think he'll be better off. By the way, let's see if we get to 200 likes and subscribe if you're new. We do this every week, and we're gonna do this pretty much after every one of the big 3 NASCAR series races for the rest of the season. Trucks, Xfinity, Cup. We got 2 races left until the truck playoffs, 7 races left until the Cup playoffs. Xfinity, I don't even know. Like I'll check really quick. You get to hear me type away and do like live investigative reporting on what I'm talking about. 3, 7, 9 races for the Xfinity playoffs, where that'll start at Bristol, baby. Damn, I didn't know that. Do you think that Zane Smith could replace Burton at the 21 next year, and Burton goes to the 38 while McDowell goes to the 10? I think that could happen. I think that front row should. Personally, I think front row is in a bit of a conundrum because Todd Gilliland has overperformed, I think, compared to what people thought he would do in 38. McDowell is actually statistically better than he was last year, actually competing for a playoff spot in crunch time of the regular season ending. Probably won't do anything if he makes it, but still competing. And you got Zane Smith, who I think is a lot better of a driver than people will give credit to. But you know what? Maybe we can do another poll as Dale Jr. easily wins the jump scare poll. I guess I don't know who we go with. I will agree with Allie Miller. Biggest disappointment so far this year in Xfinity is Brandon Jones. He has been atrocious for the car he's running in. Even if JRM's a bit down, he should not be running as bad as he is. Irvin Alvarado, thank you for the 5. Sean Higurhani, I believe that's the one that caused that issue, should not have a ride after the ARCA race in Mid-Ohio. Therefore, a lol cow of the week in NASCAR. I'm not going to dunk on ARCA as a whole, but I will say that was a stupid move by him, and that needs to be dealt with. But here's the thing. I think it's not just an ARCA problem. I think it's a problem in all the series. I mean, you're seeing people like Elliott and Bubba hooking people. That should not be accepted at all in professional racing. But when you have guys in the Cup, Xfinity, and truck levels doing that kind of stupid stuff, what do you think a 16-year-old's going to do? I believe he's 16. I don't like it either, but I think it's overall a racing etiquette problem in NASCAR as a whole that needs to be addressed. It's not just an ARCA problem, and I think it's unfair to ARCA to blame them solely for that issue. Maybe it originated there. I'd have to do a deep dive to kind of see where it started originating from. But it is a younger driver thing that I've noticed more and more through about the last 10 or so years. But I don't think you can blame the ARCA drivers now who were like 6-year-olds when this stuff was happening in Cup in 2015, 16 on, or 6, 10-year-olds, whatever. I do think it's unfair to solely pin that on ARCA. We've seen the Truck Series drivers do stupid stuff like that too. So, Jordan, thank you for having your first super chat on the channel. Jordan McCoy for 5. I truly believe the 24 has their heir to the throne, so to speak. As someone who's watched the 3 for years, it's nice to watch your car succeed. I think Byron is set with that. And I believe Byron is in his 20s. 26, if I'm not mistaken. 25 or 26, right? 25. He'll be 26 this year. Damn, he's only like a month younger than me. I see he's plenty of time to improve. I honestly, he'd probably be moved higher up the top 75 list that we did in the podcast. If we had made that list instead of being made in March, made it in like June, July. But looking on the wins list that I have here, God, my nose is itchy. Uh, Byron has his 8th win of his career tonight, which puts him above Alex Bowman now and tied with Ryan Blaney and Kyle Petty, which would put him tied for 67th all-time on the top on the wins list. He's got plenty of time, too, to make it higher and higher up. I mean, I don't think it's out of the question if he got 3 more wins by the end of the season, that he would be solely in 61st on the all-time wins list, only 2 behind Dick Rathman and Tim Richmond. So I think the heir apparent is there. Napa Racing Fan 927, thank you for the 2. Return Xfinity to Mid-Ohio and trucks to Canadian Tire. Well, at least from what I've been hearing, the whole Montreal deal, it sounds like it'd probably come together. At least from what it sounds like and what the scuttlebutt of all of it is. God, man, I don't know why my nose is so itchy. Probably just like dust or something in here. But I would expect them to go all out with being international. I would expect a triple header out of that one, or at least Cup Xfinity. So that's I don't know about Canadian Tire, but I know Montreal is very realistic. I don't know about Mid-Ohio with Xfinity again, but I'd be fine with it. M. Martin Fan for life. Thank you for being a member for 4 months. McDowell and Allmendinger both will win to advance. Bold prediction, but McDowell's been running quicker. Allmendinger and colleague overall has been running better. So I don't think it's a bad. I don't think it's a bad prediction to say that. I guess who will make the playoffs that's not in it right now? I think we can put that up. I'll put the Hendrick boys, Bowman and Elliott. Let's see. Bubba and Allmendinger. Because I think there's ways that you can say that all of these guys can or cannot make it. So who will make the playoffs that's not in right now? Bowman, Elliott, Bubba, or Allmendinger? And then thank you, Tyler, for the 2. Can we amend that top 75 list, please? I'll beg. Nope. We put it up. Is what it is. Because we're in the top 35 right now, so it's not like Byron will be that high just yet. Jordan McCoy, thank you for the 2. This Byron bet is going to make you money. I put a bet on Byron. Yeah, let's get to 200 likes, by the way. 6 away. Thank you for reminding me, Groovy Goose. And I believe Groovy Goose, you asked in the chat what I'd rate the race. I think I said 8 out of 10. I thought it was a solid race. I thought it was the best one at the new Atlanta. And it's all because it's not racing like modern super speedway racing, which I fully endorse at this point because modern super speedway racing gets so damn dumb. But we get so far looking at the poll right now, 46% of you think that Elliott, or 47 give or take, Elliott will make it, and then 24 to 23% say Bubba and Allmendinger each, and 8% say Bowman. Not much faith in the Bowman stock right now. I think a lot of people are thinking Elliott's going to win. I don't think okay. If he doesn't improve too much in the cut line this coming week, I think you got to write out making it off of Paul. I think right now a win is probably the best and almost only way that Elliott can get in. Who do I think is going to win at the Glen? I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I don't think. When's the last time Elliott was Road America the last time, or was it Road America was the last time that Elliott won at a road course? What was the last Elliott win at a road course? You guys would know better than me. Also, Tyler says, how many wins did Jeff Gordon have at 26? I don't know. I can check it really quick. I believe he started later on in his career. I don't think he started too much later, but Gordon did start at a later age, I thought. Or maybe he didn't. But by 26, Gordon, holy Jesus. By 26, Gordon had 42 wins. I don't think that anyone's hitting that by 26. Jeff Gordon is a special driver, though. I'm not going to put anyone really today that's a young driver up there with Jeff Gordon. He is one of the 2 to 3 best drivers ever. And then so I, at least if my counting's right, it says 26 here. For like in 1998, he on Racing Reference says he was 26. So that'd be, he got 2 wins in 94, 7 in 95, 10 in 96, 10 in 97, 13 in 98. I know a lot of that too was Ray Evernham, but you know, you don't get to also, you know, you could throw out crew chiefs left and right for reasons why or why not people get wins at any point. So I mean, he was insane. Like, yeah, like you're saying, he was insane starting out. Because he got 7 wins in 99. He did win 6 for this championship season. He cooled down into the 2000s, especially after Evernham was gone. But he still was an elite driver. I mean, outside of his 08 to 2010 span and then 13 and 15, he had at least 2 wins a season every season of his career. So I'm not putting any driver. Yeah, I mean, Will England's right. Jeff Gordon was a generational talent. I'm not putting anyone around today in that category. But we'll end the poll right here. And I think that about covers everything. We'll be live this week on Eric Estep's channel on Wednesday. We will be live after Xfinity and Cup. I believe those are the only 2 races this coming weekend. So New Hampshire coming up. No matter when they race, we'll be live after it. We'll be chilling with y'all. So I think that about covers it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Can't wait to see you this week. And have a great night. Later, y'all.